All right, well, in the interest of time, I think we can go ahead and get started. So thank you everyone for joining today. I really appreciate your time and I appreciate you being here. Today, we will talk about how you can reduce your student loan debt by using an online tool called Savi. So during today's workshop, we'll cover some resources that can help you with managing your student loans. Talk about student loan programs you may be eligible for, the latest news around student loan programs, and some policy updates. We'll talk about how we can make these programs work for you and what you need to do to get started today. So thank you again for being here. My name is Jobe, and I'm really excited that you're here so that I can help you to understand your student loans a little more and talk to you about how Savvy can make managing those loans even easier. So as you may know, student debt is a burden for many Americans. Over 45 million Americans have student loan debt, the average debt amount being $37,000 per person. But not only that, 92% of outstanding debt is federal. This means that 92% of the debt comes from the federal loans that are offered by the Department of Education or through FAFSA. There are a lot of programs out there that can benefit federal student loan borrowers, but sometimes borrowers don't know about those programs or have trouble navigating them. So this workshop will help you to understand those programs and figure out what benefits are available for you. So when we're talking about these student loan programs, first, it's important to talk about the different types of loans that are available. So for federal programs, these programs are available only for borrowers with federal loans, meaning you have to have a federal loan in order to enroll. You can see a breakdown of some of the different types of loans here on this screen. The first and most common type of loan is a direct loan. This is the current loan offered by the Department of Education, so most borrowers already have this loan. Direct loans are eligible for programs like public service loan forgiveness and income-driven repayment plans. The next type of federal loan are FFEL loans, or FFEL loans. They are an older type of student loan, so they need to be consolidated before they can qualify for these programs. The third type of federal loan is a PLUS loan. And there's two different PLUS loans. There is Grad PLUS and Parent PLUS. A Grad PLUS loan is eligible in its current form. A Parent PLUS loan, however, requires consolidation, so it needs to be consolidated into a direct consolidation loan before it can enroll. Finally, the last type of loan are private loans. These are loans that come from anywhere except the U.S. Department of Education. And unfortunately, these types of loans do not qualify for any federal programs because only the federal loans can do that. Now, I know we're moving through this quickly, and you probably have some questions about, well, what type of loan do I have? How do I take those steps like consolidating? And the great news is that Savi can help identify what loans you have, let you know if you require consolidation, and help you to complete that process. I'll show you how that works coming up soon. But for now, kind of as the main takeaway here, the goal is for you to have direct loans. And if you have those FFEL or Parent Plus loans, you need to consolidate before you can enroll. So one program that is available for borrowers is income-driven repayment plans. This is a category of repayment plan. And within that category, there are several different plans that are offered. These plans base your monthly payment on your income and your family size, which helps keep that payment low and affordable. In general, your payment will be somewhere from 10 to 20% of your discretionary income. And as an added bonus, there is a forgiveness option available. When you enroll in an income-driven repayment plan, you'll have your repayment period set. After you've paid for that amount of time, whatever balance you still owe will be completely forgiven, including the interest. Now, within this income-driven category, there are 4 different plans that are available. Each one of these plans has different eligibility requirements and calculates your payment a little bit differently. But no matter what, your payment is going to be based on your income and your family size. And the last thing to note about these plans is that when you enroll, you are approved for your payment amount for up to 12 months. Once that time has passed, you will need to recertify your income so that if your income has changed, your payment can be updated and stay at the 10 to 20% range. Some borrowers are thinking, well, what if my income changes during those 12 months? And the answer is it depends on how your income changes. If your income increases, you can actually wait to recertify and keep that lower monthly payment for the full 12 months. If your income decreases, you can recertify early and have your payment immediately recalculated and be lowered so that you're never paying more than you can afford. Now, I've talked about how these plans are based on your income and your family size, and this graphic on the right demonstrates just how that happens. You can see that if you make less money, you can qualify for a lower monthly payment. You can also see that as your family size increases, that's taken into account and helps lower your payment as well. So your income and your family size directly impact your payment and typically makes it lower and more affordable. So taking a look at the other program that's available is Public Service Loan Forgiveness. This is a great program that provides loan forgiveness to borrowers that are working in public service and meeting some additional requirements. This program was implemented in 2007, and 2017 was the first year that borrowers were eligible to apply and receive this forgiveness. So essentially, the way it works is first, you enroll in an income driven plan. This is a requirement for PSLF, so your payments have to be made on one of the four income driven plans available. While working in public service and enrolled in your income driven plan, you make your payments each month. Every payment will give you one credit closer to forgiveness. In order to receive the forgiveness, you make 120 payments and accrue 120 of these credits. After that 120th payment, the entire remaining balance will be forgiven. So here's a more detailed look at that process and some further breakdown of the requirements. The first and perhaps most important requirement for PSLF is that you need to work at a qualifying employer. A qualifying employer is a government organization at any level. This can be federal, state, local, or tribal government. If you do not work at a government organization, you can also work at a not for profit 501c3, which includes things like working in education, hospitals, general nonprofits, things like that. As long as your employer is a government organization or a nonprofit, you could qualify for forgiveness. This is not based on your job role, so any type of employment with these organizations qualifies. Plus, you can work at multiple employers. So if you have changed employers and any of your past employers meet these requirements, you can count that time as well. So requirement number one, work in public service. Requirement number two is to have the correct type of loans. For PSLF, you need to have those direct federal loans. This means that if you have FFEL loans or Parent Plus loans, you will need to consolidate them before you can enroll in these programs. And again, that third requirement is to make your payments on an income-driven repayment plan. You need to enroll in one of the four income-driven plans and make your payment each month for it to count towards forgiveness. Now, taking a look at that process. So the first thing you'll want to do is check and make sure that you're meeting these eligibility requirements and meeting all of them so that you can enroll. You'll turn in something called an employment certification form. This form is signed by you and your employer to prove that you work in public service. When you turn in this form, the Department of Education will look at all the payments you made while working at that employer. They'll see which one of them payments meets the requirements and then add those to your total. You'll find out how many payments you have and how many you still need to make to reach 120. Now, the forms are retroactive and they only give you credit for the past payments you've already made. which means you have to turn in new forms to prove that you kept working. We recommend turning in this form every 12 months to get credit for 12 more payments and get closer to the finish line. Also, keep in mind that you need to turn in a form for each one of your employers that you've worked at. So when you're first applying, you'll turn in forms for all of your current and past employment. Moving forward, you'll then just update your current employment to keep getting credit for more payments. And then finally, once you've turned in your employment certification form that puts you over 120 payments, they will automatically process loan forgiveness on your remaining balance. A couple other additional benefits are that non-consecutive payments are okay. If you have gaps in your payment history, maybe you make a payment that doesn't qualify, that is not going to disqualify you. Once you've reached 120 cumulative payments, you'll then qualify for forgiveness. A few other important things to note though, no extra payments qualify. So you cannot make extra payments to qualify sooner, and it is going to be a minimum of 10 years before you can receive this forgiveness. Alrighty, I know we're moving through this content pretty quickly, but I've got a couple of important student loan updates for you. The first is about the Save Repayment Plan, which is one of the income-driven repayment plans offered by the Department of Education. This was released last year and was designed to lower payments for borrowers. It had some great benefits like covering unpaid interest, having some more generous rules for how payments were calculated, and keeping those payments as low as possible. As of right now, though, there are some ongoing lawsuits against this repayment plan. Some lawsuits were filed a few months ago that ultimately have put the entire SAVE plan on hold. So the Department of Education is not currently permitted to operate the SAVE plan. What this means is that borrowers who are enrolled are being placed into interest-free forbearances. We are actively monitoring the situation, but we're getting new information every week, and as soon as we know more, we'll be sure to let you know. But in the meantime, although SAVE is on hold, all other programs are still available. You can enroll in any of the other income-driven repayment plans, as well as still apply and receive public service loan forgiveness. And the other update for you is that the on-ramp to repayment is ending soon. When payments resumed last year after the COVID payment pause, borrowers were making their payment for the first time in over 3 years. The Department of Education created an on-ramp to repayment to help borrowers transition back into repayment. Essentially, this on-ramp serves as a safety net so that if you miss a payment, maybe you make it late or things like that, you won't be penalized for it. It's important to note, though, that the on-ramp is ending in October, which means that if you miss a payment after that date, you could be penalized for it and could ultimately fall into default if you miss too many payments. We are encouraging you to use this time now to make sure you're in the best possible position. Use Savi to see if you qualify for a lower monthly payment and make sure that you know what your payment is and that you can afford it and you're good to go so that once this on-ramp ends, you do not have to worry about missing payments and being penalized. Alrighty, so I know we're covering a lot of information. We still have a little bit more to go, but I want to take a quick pause on content and answer some questions before we continue. Let's take a look at the Q&A and see if there are any that we can answer out loud. So our first question says, are Parent Plus loans included? And the answer is yes. Parent Plus loans are included and can be eligible for these programs. With Parent Plus loans, it's important to note that uh, this is a loan in the parent's name that was used to pay for the child to go to school. So because it's in the parent's name, this means everything is based on the parent's information. The parent has to be the one to meet all of these requirements. So the parent has to be the one to work in public service. Mm, they have to be the one to make the payments, all of that. Once the parent has met the requirements, then they would qualify for whatever program they're pursuing. What if my IDR amount is zero? Does that count for PSLF? Yes, it does. Um, Time with a $0 monthly payment on an IDR plan does count towards forgiveness as if you were making payments so that you can continue to earn progress towards forgiveness and still, have that time count. Does the COVID payment pause count towards the 120 payments? It does. So time during the COVID payment pause will count towards forgiveness, even if you were not making payments. As long as you were still working in public service during that time, you can turn in an employment certification form and get credit for those months where the payments were paused. Can I have a copy of this presentation? Yes, we will be sending out a follow-up email which will include uh, some more resources to help you get started with your free Savi account, as well as a link to the recording where you can view this. What if I work for a nonprofit but get a seasonal job? Does that impact it? So as long as you continue working at an eligible employer, any other outside employment will not impact your eligibility. Someone says, I'm about 4 months away from meeting the 120 payments. I have certified my employment, but what happens if there is a change in administration or the program is taken away? So this is a question we've been getting a lot lately as the election gets closer, but we want to give you some info to hopefully reassure you. Historically, the PSLF program has been a bipartisan program. It began to be created in the 90s under the Clinton administration and was implemented in 2007 under the Bush administration. So, again, historically, it has been bipartisan. Also, because it was passed into law by Congress, it's a little bit more permanent and harder to take away than some things like executive orders that are can vary from administration to administration. So, PSLF has been around for a long time. We anticipate it will still be around for more time to come. And if you are close to pursuing forgiveness, uh, I I really am not seeing any situation where there will be a change that will prevent you from receiving that forgiveness. Someone says, I was on save before the lawsuits. I'm now unable to continue my payments. Is this going to interrupt forgiveness? So, because of the save lawsuits, borrowers who are enrolled in SAVE have been placed into an administrative forbearance where they will not be accruing interest and are not required to make payments. This time does not count towards forgiveness. So if you are pursuing forgiveness, what this means is that it's just going to push out your forgiveness timeline a little bit. You do also have the option of doing something called the PSLF buyback, which is where once payments resume and you're about to get your forgiveness, you make a payment for what you would have paid during this time. You can learn more about the buyback process at studentaid.gov. Alrighty, I know there are a couple more questions, but I want to make sure that we don't run out of time. So I'm going to take a quick pause on questions and then pick back up with him once we finish up at the end. So as we've seen with these programs, they can be very beneficial, but they're complicated to navigate. There are so many rules to know, and it can be very difficult to compare programs, know the rules for them, and figure out what your best option is. Plus, as you've seen with things like these save lawsuits, the policies are constantly changing, and it can be hard to keep up. But we want to reassure you that we are here to help. This is exactly why MetLife and Savi are here, is to help you navigate this confusing process. So MetLife and Savi are working together to provide you all with a student loan benefit. Savi is a public benefit corporation, which means we are here to serve the public and help others as much as we can. We are a team of student loan borrowers with over 2 decades of expertise. So many of us have student loans of our own, myself included. And this firsthand knowledge helps us to better serve you. So, what can Savi do for you? We have an online system which allows you to see your eligibility for all of these programs and even more than what we've discussed. We'll provide you with step-by-step instructions on how you can become eligible, and we'll help you to get on track and receive this forgiveness that you've earned. You'll be able to see personalized repayment and forgiveness options. You'll be able to digitally submit your applications and get assistance from real people through our support team or other online webinars like this one. And a bit of our track record, we can have reduced monthly payments for our borrowers by an average of $187 per month. On average, our borrowers receive about $38,980 in loan forgiveness. And so far, we found over $1 billion in forgiveness that our users qualify for. So again, just to put it into perspective, 45 million Americans have that student debt with about $37,000 on average. With an average monthly payment of $460, Savi is able to lower that by an average of about $187, which is close to half of that monthly payment. So we can help you, again, lower that payment. We want to help you get this forgiveness you qualify for, and our online system makes it easy to do that. So here at Savi, we do have a couple different membership options. First, I want to say it is absolutely free to sign up and see what you qualify for. There is no cost to entering your information and seeing what's available. We have a free do-it-yourself plan where we will provide you with instructions on how to enroll in your selected plan. If you're looking for a tool to do the heavy lifting for you and you want to unlock more features, we recommend our Essential plan, which is typically our most popular plan. The Essential allows you to digitally create and submit all necessary applications from within your Savi account. Savi will monitor everything moving forward to keep you on track for forgiveness. And best of all, the Essential Plan gives you access to personalized support from student loan experts. Anytime you have questions about your situation, talk about your options, or you need a little bit more assistance, the support team is there to provide you with that one-on-one help from our student loan experts. And if you're looking for an even higher level of service, we have our Pro plan. This includes all essential features, plus some added benefits like dedicated phone support so that you can schedule a phone call with us anytime you'd like, a free credit counseling session, as well as a comprehensive financial review. So we encourage you to see what's available for you, see what your student loan options are, and then choose the Savi plan that works best for your situation. So let's take a quick look now at what the Savi application looks like so that you know what to expect and are ready to go once we wrap up. When you're using Savi, there are 3 simple steps that you'll complete to seeing what's available. On step 1, you'll start your application with us and provide some general information. Savi will run the numbers in the background, and then you'll proceed to step 2. We will lay out everything that you qualify for so that you can compare all repayment and forgiveness plans that you're eligible for. You can pick the one that works best for you and proceed to step 3, where you'll be able to submit your application and lock in your savings. So this is the main Savi dashboard. It's the hub for everything that you're working on with Savi and shows you any action items that are needed from you. One feature on the dashboard is that you can invite friends and family. So if you know anyone with student loans of their own, feel free to enter their email, send them an invite, and they can sign up to get help as well. In our main application, we will ask for all of the info we need to provide you with estimates. We'll ask for information about your family and income so that we can use this to calculate your payment on an income-driven plan. Our website will also automatically guide you through each necessary step so that we can show you what's available. Next up, you'll add employment information. Here, you'll be able to add your employment history so that we can see if any of your employers qualify for PSLF. So for those of you wondering if your employer qualifies, simply search for them by name, add them to your profile, and we'll see if they meet the requirements. If they do, we'll help you to submit the forms and certify that time later in the process. After that, one of the most important steps in the Savi application is to add your loans. This allows Savi to see your loan situation and see things like your loan types, your balances, and your repayment history. There's a few different ways you can add your loans. You can automatically sync them where Savi will pull over all the info we need. You can manually enter your loan details, or you can upload a record of your loan from the Department of Education. Adding your loans on this page does not take any action on them yet. It just gives us a glimpse into your situation so that we can see what options are available for you. If you need to take steps like consolidating, this page will be very helpful because once you've added your loans, we will notify you if you require consolidation and help you to complete that process. Finally, once you've entered your information, you'll get the plan results page where you'll see what you qualify for. You'll be able to see specific details like what your monthly payment is, how long you have until forgiveness, and how much forgiveness you can get. We automatically recommend the plan that will save you the most and get you the most forgiveness. But if you want to see all options available, that is there for you to explore as well. Check out what's available, and when you're ready to enroll, click the blue Continue button to get started on your paperwork. Now, if you haven't already enrolled in a Savi plan, you'll be prompted to do so now. Remember, we have different plans. We have the Do-It-Yourself plan, where you can enroll on your own. We have our most popular Essential plan, which allows you to digitally create those applications and gives you access to support. And then we have that Pro plan, which is our highest level and includes all essential features, plus some more hands-on benefits to help you navigate this process. If you do decide to enroll in Savi's Essential or Pro memberships, you'll be able to digitally create your forms in your Savi account. If you're applying for PSLF, we will take care of creating and sending that form to each of your employers, getting it signed, and submitting it for you. If you're switching your repayment plan, we will create that form and send it off to switch your repayment plan as well. Believe it or not, the number one reason applications are denied is because they are filled out incorrectly. But with Savi, we pre-fill the forms to ensure they have the best chance of being accepted, and we actually have a 98% acceptance rate for forms submitted with the Essential or Pro memberships. Once you've created your forms, you can track their statuses back on your dashboard. You can see exactly what step of the process each form is on, and if there's any action needed from you to get the forms to 100%. And as you're working through the application, if you ever have questions, we are always here to help. You can click Contact Support from any page of our website to access resources. We have our Help Center, and we have the ability to reach out to our support team if you're an Essential or a Pro member. So if you ever need assistance, click this Contact Support from any page of our website and don't hesitate to reach out for help. So what does this all mean for you? Well, you can see that on your own, you might not know about loan forgiveness. You may be paying more per month than you need and paying more overall. But with Savi, well, in MetLife, we will help you to get that loan forgiven because you've earned it. We'll help you lower your monthly payment so that you're never paying more than you can afford and make sure that you're paying as little as possible overall. So don't just take our word for it. See what other users are saying. We love our borrowers. We love being able to help them. And we really are always trying to look out for you and make sure that you have assistance with this process. Uh, for example, we heard from a borrower a few weeks ago who received about $40,000 of loan forgiveness. I believe our record here at Savi, back at the beginning of the year, we heard from a borrower who received $500,000 in forgiveness. So really, no matter what your situation is, we want to help you. We are here to help, and we encourage you to make your Savi account and see what's available because you'll never know if you don't check. So as we wrap up, I'll leave you with some next steps. Be sure to create your free Savi account by going to bethany.bysavi.com or by scanning this QR code to get started. If you ever need any assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out for support, and we would be more than happy to do so. So that's everything I've got for you today. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you found it useful. We have a couple of minutes left, so I am going to try and rapid fire answer as many questions as I can. Does submitting an ECF provide an update on your progress? It's tough to see how many payments I've made. Yes, so when you turn in an ECF, you will get a report back of how many payments you have and how many you still need to make in order to receive forgiveness. You can also see an estimate of how many payments you have in your Savi account. What if I haven't made plans on an IDR for the last 10 years? The Department of Education has recently made some improvements so that even if you have not enrolled in these programs, you can still count that time towards forgiveness. So you'll want to enroll in an IDR plan now so that your future payments count, and you can get credit for the past payments thanks to some recent changes. What about working part time at a nonprofit where sometimes I work more than 30 hours, sometimes I work less? So for PSLF, the requirement is to work an average of 30 hours per week. Even if you work more, some weeks less a little bit, as long as it averages out to 30 hours or more per week, you'll be good to go and can qualify. I'm currently in school not making payments. Should I wait till I graduate to sign up for Savvy or should I do it now? So your payments are paused while you're in school, and your payments don't begin until 6 months after you graduate or leave. During that 6 months, you'll be in a grace period, and typically that's when it's best to start making arrangements for your repayment. There really won't be anything to do on the Savvy website until you are about to enter repayment, but we encourage you to at least sign up for Savvy so that you don't forget about it and you have that access once you are entering repayment. If I already have a $0 monthly payment, can Savvy still help? Yes, we can. So if you have already locked in your lowest possible payment, we'll help ensure that you keep it moving forward. Similarly, for other programs, if you've already started this process on your own, we can pick up where you left off and move forward with you so that you have someone in your corner just watching out for you, making sure everything is going the way it's supposed to. I see a couple people are asking about the recording. Again, we will be sharing this recording for you. We'll send it out in a follow-up email. Does the Savvy account need to have my Bethany information? Typically, we recommend signing up with your employer email, but you are able to sign up with your personal email as well. You'll also want to add your Bethany employment in your employment history so that we can count that in our estimates towards your PSLF eligibility. Is there an age limit? No, there's not. These programs are available to any borrowers at any age. Will there be one-on-one help afterwards? If you are looking for one-on-one help and you need more support, you can use Savvy's Essential or Pro plans, which do offer that personalized support feature. So if you're looking for some one-on-one help, reach out to us and one of our student loan experts would be more than happy to assist. I was previously on a forgiveness plan, then I returned to school. I was told that this will reset my payments. Is that true? So it's a little complicated, but essentially, loans earn progress towards forgiveness individually. If you took out loans and started making payments on them, they have started earning progress towards forgiveness. If you go back to school and take out new loans, they don't have any forgiveness progress yet. This means that your older loans would be forgiven before your new loans. So it doesn't reset your progress. It's just that any new loans you take out would have to reach 120 payments before they could qualify for forgiveness. I pay my son's federal loans. Should I enter my employment info? I've worked at nonprofits, but he hasn't. So for federal loans, everything is done by the person who has the loans in their name. If they are your son's loans, this means that technically eligibility for these programs will be based on his information. There's not a way to transfer loans from one person to another. So if your son has loans in his name, he has to be the one to meet the requirements. If you are working at a nonprofit, the only way you could qualify for loan forgiveness is if you have loans in your name. So after the 120 payments, the rest of the loans will be forgiven? Yes. Once you reach your 120th payment, your loans will automatically be forgiven. I've been working in public service for 5 years, including the COVID time, but I haven't enrolled in PSLF yet. Will that time still be counted? Yes. So even if you have not enrolled in a plan before, you can enroll now and get credit for your past payments. So again, even if you haven't been on an income-driven plan, even if you have not applied for PSLF. Thanks to recent changes, you can apply now and get credit for all of those past payments so that you already have some progress towards these programs. Alrighty, I know there are one or two more questions left in the Q&A, but we are out of time. If you have a question I was not able to get to today, I do apologize, and I would really encourage you to start working through that Savi application, start seeing what's available, and there's a very good chance you could find the answer to your question in the application. If for any reason you still have that question, you need more assistance, do not hesitate to reach out for Savi, and we will always be more than happy to help. So that's everything I've got for you. I appreciate your time and I hope you all have a great afternoon. Be sure to create your Savvy accounts and again, let us know if there's anything we can do to help. Thanks.